This mountainside, engulfed with snow untouched, reveals the isolation I command. The icy storms that I once tightly clutched within my heart, now blanketing the land. No longer could I heed my parents' will to keep my youthful hopes and fears at bay. So all have seen I've mastered winter's chill, my years of forced seclusion tossed away. The page hath turned. I'll break the chains that once restrained my true identity. This queen will rule, but o'er her own domain, without a thought for what they think of me. I'll not again the falling snow withhold, for I have never been bothered by the cold.
Well, I have this friend. He's a jazz musician, trumpet player, really terrific. And I go and hear him jam every month or so. He plays this piece that I love. It's an old Chet Baker song. He blows the same notes every time, and yet every time it sounds so different. Well, he and I had drinks one night when I used to drink. And I remember trying to tell him how the song made me feel, and how his playing made me feel, how the music made me feel. And he just kept shaking his head. He said, "Joan, you can't talk about music. Talking about music is like dancing about architecture." And I said, "Okay, fine, if you're going to get all philosophical on me, it's just as pointless to talk about a lot of things, like love, for instance." My friend laughed. He said, "Definitely, most definitely, is talking about love like dancing about architecture." I don't know. You might be right. But it still ain't gonna stop me from trying.
Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more! Or close the wall up with our goblin dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the actions of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favoured rage. Then lend to the eye a terrible aspect. Let it pry through the portage of the head like the breast cannon. Let the bow overwhelm it, as fearfully as doth the gold rock over hand and jetty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now, set the teeth and stretch the nostrils wide. Hold hard the breath and bend every spirit up to its full height. On, you noblest goblins, whose blood is fetched from fathers of warproof, fathers like so many Xanathars have in these parts from morn till even fought, and sheathe their swords for lack of argument. Dishonour not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to goblins of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in Goblinshire, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding. Which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like bugbears in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, Goblinshire, and Saint Goblin! Rah!
Is this? Yeah, okay, it's on. Okay, hi, my name's James. I'm American, but I'm living in England right now. I'm a broadcast technician. Been one for over 16 whole days. Look, all honesty, I'm just here because of my dad. He's been pressing me to get a job since getting fired from the pet shop, and it's been rough. honestly trying to find work, but he's a higher up in the BBC, which is quite nice. He's offering me some work experience as a technician. You see, despite him being quite high up in one of the biggest broadcasting companies in the world, if not the biggest broadcasting company, he doesn't quite get that working as software that's broadcasting to the entire nation is different than plugging in an Xbox. With the vast array of machines that the BBC have, it's kind of impossible to just turn it off and turn it back on again, which is the usual method of fixing things that have technological problems. But Dot doesn't really care about that. In fact, he doesn't really care about what I want to do. Because funnily enough, sitting in a black leather chair, flicking buttons and switches all day isn't where I want to be in 10 years' time. I kind of want to be a singer. I want to be on stage and blasting my words out as a sea of fans sing back to me with heart and passion and joy at the fact that I'm even in their presence. That's where I want to be, but Dad doesn't see that for me. He sees himself in me. He wants me to be him. In fact, come to think of it, he's always been like that. I watched what he watched as a kid. I read what he read. I did what he did. I went where he went. I did everything that he did because he never allowed me to have a life of my own because he's so obsessed with his own legacy rather than what his son wants to be. He doesn't see me as his blood. He sees me as a protege. And that's how it's always been. That's how it's always going to be. No matter what I do with my life, no matter where I go, he's always going to see me as nothing more than himself. It's hard. Because I can't really do anything. I've only got him. I don't have a mom. She went. I don't have any other family. They live back in America. It's hard. But while I'm stuck here, being the master of the beep, I feel like I'm making this work. I feel like if I do a good enough job, Dad'll finally see that I can do something right. For once. But believe me, one day, I'll be on that stage. You'll see me. I promise you that. Peace.